So the way Rutgers plays is probably a little bit different from a lot of what you've seen so far. What are going to be the, I guess, main challenges for your young guys in particular?
I think the things that they cause problems with the most is just not one particular thing, just how hard they play. They play hard, they compete on defense, they play to win, and they play the right way. And he's done a fabulous job there. But no, just I love their physicality. I love their pieces. They have great guard play. They have good size. They have some interchangeable pieces at the 3 and the 4 that can cause you problems. Those guys have really high mag, have really added stuff to their game. They've added Spencer and Simpson, 2 really dynamic guards. Simpson's going to be a fabulous player in our league. You saw what he did against Indiana when he got going there in that second half. Obviously, Spencer made 5 threes the last game and has a lot of experience. And it's just a good piece going in, McCahey and McConnell. And those 2 guys are just rocks, man. They defend, they play hard, they pass the basketball. Like I said earlier, they play the right way. Those guys play to win. And then, Big Cliff. Big Cliff just keeps making improvements, keeps getting better. Led the nation in dunks last year, blocked shots. But now it's not something, he's making jump hooks, he's making post moves. He's making, 16, 17 footers right there. He can do a lot more than he used to from an offensive standpoint. But he's just such a rock when it comes to rebounding and defending. Like I said, they have a very good team. And this is going to be a real tough test for us.
Just a challenge of them having those 3, 6, 7, 210-pound guys.
Yeah.
You can't really switch them into favorable matchups very easily, especially how hard they play, how physical they are, things like that.
No doubt. Like, whether it's offense or defense, they seem to be like the matchups are in their favor. And I think that's why you see a lot of people, especially professionally, go to those interchangeable pieces because they cause problems on both ends of the floor.
But they're also going to try to get your 4s and the guard wings on the perimeter,
no
stuff like that. Just what do you guys have to do from a defensive perspective to make sure they don't play over their numbers offensively?
Well, I think you can't allow them to get us into rotations and get us behind plays. You got to knock out the post and make that hard. Now, if they get catches in the post when they want, now they're going to put us in a bind. They do a great job with their dribble downs, though. So, they dribble in the post. So, you got to be able to guard the ball one-on-one. You got to be able to, if they get too deep, to come for the doubles, things like that. But they're awful crafty in knowing what's going on. And they're very, very, like I said earlier, they're very good passers. McCahey and McConnell will really see the floor.
And this is sort of the ultimate test of your rebounding. Your rebounding's been a strength damn near every time you played, but this is kind of a different deal with Cliff on the offensive glass.
No question. Well, I think it's a different deal with their whole team. They just don't, Cliff's their leading rebounder, but they have other guys that, positionally, they get in there and mix it up. McConnell was just fabulous on the glass against Indiana. But the rest of those guys do too, and at times they don't get back on defense. Everybody will come at some time, and so you got to make sure. Normally there's a guy or 2 that's always going to be a safety, and they kind of randomly, will get back on defense. They probably have a guy or 2 that's supposed to, but when they see some opportunistic, shots go up there, they'll crash the glass. So everybody in our team needs to box out.
Now that you're back into the Big Ten, you're going to see more traditional size. Do you anticipate seeing more people playing Zach straight up, or do you still have to shoot people out of that?
Well, I definitely think people will double, and I definitely think people will play straight up. It kind of depends on, what their theory is dealing with things in the post. I think some logic has shifted a little bit with 2s. Some people will live with somebody, making some 2s and making some jump hooks and doing that. But I think we'll see a dose of both. I think some people, Nebraska obviously came baseline side and doubled us. And, you make things look good when you don't make wide open shots. And so for us, we're going to have a better balance. But, nobody's out there trying to miss a shot. And the guys that we do have taken those shots that have struggled are all very capable of knocking them down. So, I feel good about it. We just got to keep working on playing both ways. If we can't decide what what they're going to do. We can only react to it. So we just got to be prepared for both.
Anytime you play Rutgers, obviously you've mentioned Cliff already. Just he's been a dynamic athlete the past couple of years for them. Just can you compare him at all to any big guys you played this far in the non-conference schedule? And just what other kind of wrinkles does he bring that you kind of have to?
Well, I think we've played some people that have his physical tools, but they don't have his activity yet. We played a couple young big guys earlier in the year that are promising futures, but they're not productive right now. But they're great prospects. Cliff's productive. That's where Cliff was 2 years ago, and now he's really productive. And it's hard when you face someone with his kind of length. The lobs he gets, the tip dunks he gets, the block shots. You just don't see it every single day. So you got to do a good job of getting to him and not letting him just kind of freelance and doing whatever he wants. But that's easier said than done. He's a tough cover.
And you've already mentioned just all the different intangibles that Rutgers brings that make them a tough test, even when you're playing them on your home court. Just when they have so many different guys that are contributing on the offensive end of the court, just what challenges does that pose to this defense and knowing so many different responsibilities?
I think the mentality is there. They have the Big Ten mentality. They're tough, they're blue collar, they defend, they rebound. Now they run a lot of really good actions offensively, so you got to be prepared for that also. But no, it's our players probably think we're crazy because of all this stuff like we're going over, but they force you. A lot of teams on the East Coast, man, like they mix their defenses, they come at you, they play hard, they get into you. I love it. They've been so good for our league. But you got to be prepared for everything. But what are they going to do during the game? They're not going to do all of it. They're going to pick and choose. But if you're not ready for all of it and they go to it and you're not prepared, that's what they'll stick with. If they find something and it's successful, whether it's running a play or a defense or whatever, so you as a coach, you just got to have your team prepared.